Greetings, anime addicts and cartoon fanatics. It's your analyst Cole Yerlow here to talk to you about the Blue Sky Studios' The Peanuts movie by Schultz. A little bit of history from me and The Peanuts. Like everyone else, I always read the Peanuts comic in the Sunday comics. I remember watching the show as a kid. Not much memory on the movies. I have seen them before, but I remember the show more. And I can't even remember how long ago it was when it was announced that someone was going to be making a Peanuts movie, a CG Peanuts movie. And I saw it. I saw the little teaser, and I had good hopes for it. I really thought it looked promising. Though for some reason, I've talked to certain people, and they think they don't have any high hopes for it. They think that it isn't going to be any good. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the 3D, or not the 3D, the CGI threw them off or something didn't look right to them there. Or if it was the fact that it was being brought to us by Blue Sky Studios, the people behind Ice Age, Rio, another one I can't remember. I want to say Epic. I may be wrong about that, but movies that certain kids and stuff enjoy and stuff, but certain adults don't get much out of it and stuff. So that little worry is understandable. But every trailer I saw, everything looked promising. Everything felt right. And I'm happy to tell you I was not wrong. This movie was great. I was smiling the entire time. I have never seen a old cartoon, adapted this well and staying this true to the original. It is an amazing feat. And I think the main reason why I caught at the credits a lot of people with the last name Schultz. So apparently a lot of the descendants of Charles Schultz were behind this movie, and it's clearly seen. Everything is done so well. Visually speaking, it's kind of interesting. They went with a kind of like the characters and everything look like they're supposed to, and everything. There were times where it was kind of odd where the frame rate of the character's movement kind of dropped, but I think that was intentional. It felt like they were trying to follow the look and how the animation was in the original show. Little touches like that were really cute. And I don't have the info available right now, but someone tell me, are the voices that do these characters in this movie the same from the cartoon show? Because if they are, they have not aged at all. Everyone sounds exactly like they used to. The only exception, I think, is Peppermint Patty. Like a couple of times she didn't sound exactly the same, but it wasn't really that noticeable. Now to try to think back, I'm trying to think of ways to describe and express how good this movie is without giving too much away, because there's so many great things. There are a lot of great visual gags. And the one of the best things about this film is the moments with Snoopy and the whole Red Baron thing. If you remember from the old cartoons, where he would imagine himself on top of the house being his plane and fighting the Red Baron, and in the cartoon originally it was just the image of him on the doghouse, and it would flip around and stuff, and it would have color filters over it. And this is one of those moments where I think the artistic direction of making his fantasy look more like reality, better looking, more high graphic, hills that he's flying through and all that. I think that works, but it doesn't take away too much from how the original worked. There are times where when he's being shot at, you see the color filter over Snoopy. Really nice touches like that. Now the whole story of this thing which is kind of it's obvious from the trailers. Which actually I wanted to point out, this is something. Is this rare in these type of movies and stuff? Normally in like 90s shows and stuff or 90s movies, it's always the new kid moves to town and he feels out of place and stuff like that. And this is, I think, the first time I've ever seen where it's following a kid experiencing a new kid coming to the place, and the whole trying to start off new with somebody. I don't know if that's ever been done before. Maybe I'm just not that well aware, but it follows that, and it's Charlie Brown trying to work up to talk to her, and feeling like an idiot and stuff like that. And there are some moments as it goes on where Charlie Brown is trying to impress her in some way. Like there's a talent show, there's a book report he tries to help her with, and an obvious and painfully obvious setup where they confuse Charlie Brown for getting the highest score, perfect score on a test, and getting fame from it, and he discovers he wasn't the one who got the high grade. And I tell you right now, I don't remember having this experience watching Charlie Brown before, or in his character, but there are some genuinely moving, sweet moments with Charlie Brown around these moments, because it's an opportunity where he can try to do something to impress the new girl, the redhead girl, which oddly enough never gets a name. They're like, and I won't tell every single one of them, but I'll give away one. When it's about time for his act to come up, and his little sister, Susie, did I get that name right? Hold on, let me double check my names here. I get the names mixed up so much. Sally, I'm sorry. Sally is doing a really silly little performance that isn't getting much of a reaction, and that's really sweet moment where Charlie Brown decides, I'm not going to let you interact so quickly, and he goes out there dressed up as a cow, and the whole thing, helps Sally, have a great moment, and it's the sweetest thing ever. I don't remember, like I said, I don't remember Charlie Brown ever having that. I don't know if that's something that was kind of added that's not normal or not. I don't know. It has sweet moments like that. And going back, let me go back to talking about Snoopy's, Red Baron adventures. That is one of the best parts of the film, like the most engaging thing ever. It's really, gripping, really funny. And oh God, Snoopy is just, this is the funniest I've ever seen Snoopy ever. So many great visual gags with him, so many jokes. And the one thing that a lot of people are probably worried about, this movie does not, drop any pop culture references. It feels like the same time period that the cartoon first came out. Almost timeless. The only thing that kind of threw it off a bit was, there's one song that does sound kind of like a pop song, but I could forgive it. It fit better than I was expecting it to. All the Peanuts characters have good moments. The only one I think didn't get fair justice was Linus. Linus, there could have been more they could have done with Linus, but oh yeah, they did have one genius moment I love. Like, how there's always this comic strips where Linus talks with a teacher and has some type of speech. Well, he has it in music, and this piano starts playing, and it pans over, and it's Schroeder. And I hope I'm saying his name right. I've never been able to pronounce his name. Schroeder is sitting there at his desk playing the piano. It's the best gag ever. And also, anyone who is like expert on Peanut character trivia, could someone tell me if... Here's the funny thing I never realized. There's always these two girls that were like kind of pushed back as characters that I remember, visually, but I never saw much happen with them. And those characters were Violet, hold on, let me bring this up. Violet, Gray, and another girl called Patty, which is very confusing because you got Peppermint Patty and then you got a girl just named Patty. She was the blonde-haired girl with a bow in her head, and Violet was the black-haired girl with the single bun on the back of her head. But anyway, going back to Patty, in the show or anything, did Patty and Pigpen ever become a thing? Because they kind of push that really hard in this. It's not overbearing to the story, but it's like little moments where she's like, "Oh, I like to dance with Pigpen." And another funny thing where the sprinklers go off during the dance and Pigpen becomes clean, and she's like, "Do I know you?" It's such a good joke there. I'm trying to think of other things to talk about before I talk about the last thing. And the last thing, story-wise and everything, is it's the message of the film. The message that I think certain people are going to say is the painfully obvious one, and yeah, it is kind of painfully obvious, but it's a good message because you have Charlie Brown always having these like moments where he gets embarrassed and everyone doesn't think much of him, but through it all, he makes these choices that, and this is kind of spoilers, the little red-haired girl notices and mentions about his character, and it's the message that, not everyone can be the Schroders. Sorry, I'm still saying his name wrong. The amazing piano players. Not everyone can be, the psychiatrist Lucy, which they had pretty good poems like that. Not everyone can be this cool, smooth Joe Cool Snoopy. Not everyone can be perfect. But what matters most is your character. The little things you do, the times when you become courageous and go out there and do something like dance in front of people, or your honesty and not taking the credit for something that you don't deserve, or doing something for someone else, even if it may cost you something of your own. Things like that. I've never been really good with these audio vlogs. I'm sorry. But that's my whole overall opinion of the film. But thanks for listening, folks. Go check out the film for yourselves. And as always, folks, stay animated.